Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a bit of bonus content of Doctor Who Reviews. My name is RaniWatch, I'm joined by FreezingInferno and Kat, and today we are reviewing some very cursed content.
Oh, God.
We are reviewing...
We're finally here.
We are reviewing Dimensions in Time, the 1993 Children in Need special.
This is where quarantines led us, everybody.
Do you want to know the funny thing?
On.
Do you want to know the funny thing?
It's not that bad.
Last Wednesday...
We could be watching Trial of a Time Lord or something.
True. Last Wednesday was April Fool's Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was actually a symbol watch of Dimensions in Time for April Fool's Day.
You're shitting me, was there?
TARDIS Monkey and her group organised it.
Amazing.
Yeah, which is funny because it's like 15 minutes long runtime.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one good thing you can say about it. It's over quick.
That was 15 minutes long. It felt more like 5.
That was so close to a stellar reward, Joe. What was your favourite part about it? The end.
Oh, well, before we get into it, I think we should touch on the history of how this whatever came
Yes,
to be.
okay. So the show had been
Because it's actually
cancelled.
interesting.
The show had been cancelled 4 years earlier.
Yep.
In 1989, due to poor ratings and diminishing creative returns and things like that, and some executive meddling as well. Anyway, 1993 was supposed to be the show's 30th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. What are we going to do for the 30th anniversary?
Well, I think you've got the details of this, haven't you?
Well, yes, I have some details. What was planned was something between BBC Enterprises, I believe. I just watched a video on this that Josh Snares, who's an excellent Doctor Who YouTuber, did. And I've linked it in our chat. You can pop it down below for everybody if they want to hear more about this. The Dark Dimension was supposed to be a direct-to-video special starring Tom Baker, featuring the other Doctors. And Josh Snares doesn't mention it, but I know another supplementary material, like DVD extras and stuff. Rick Mayall was actually supposed to be the villain in it.
Oh my god, I wanted to see that.
Yeah. But it didn't get off the ground at all because of various reasons. It was going to cost way too much. The BBC didn't really want to make Doctor Who anyway because, well, they cancelled it to give it an indefinite hiatus and a rest. And add to the fact that negotiations were going on with Philip Segal and Steven Spielberg for what would become the Palmagan TV movie. And the Dark Dimension, well, it went off into the Dark Dimension. So, somehow or other, what we got instead for the 30th anniversary was a Children in Need special.
Yeah.
Which
the idea is that because most of the cast had already been contracted for something for the 30th anniversary, they might as well do something.
Maybe.
Wait, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
The most confusing part of that was the fact that Steven Seagal worked on the Doctor Who movie.
Philip Segal.
Philip Segal, not Steven Seagal.
Oh, I thought you said Steven Seagal. I was like, wait a minute,
Philip
what?
Segal and Steven Spielberg. No,
that would be great because he could have kicked a Dalek out of a train from 47 different camera angles.
Holy shit!
It would be the only good movie he was in.
Oh god. So
Yeah.
another fun thing about Dimensions in Time is it was all done for charity and stuff, and as such, it had the proviso that it never be broadcasted or sold again. But, well, thanks to VHS, we have this. So,
yes.
Oddly enough, and this comparison has come up a lot, the piece of media that this most resembles is the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah, I was going to say.
AKA,
also
Lucas dreams
AKA Jerry's April Fool's Day joke this year.
It's true. This is funny. I was watching all the Star Wars movies to build up to the new one, Rise of Skywalker, coming out to digitally rent. So it just so happened that I made it to day 9 on April Fool's Day, and I'm sitting there getting ready to watch the movie, and I think, wait, it's April. It's April 1st. I got to do something. So I put on the holiday special on YouTube because everybody uploaded it. And I'm just like, I just point down, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's finally time for my Star Wars watch to end. Here we go. The Star Wars Holiday Special. April Fools.
As opposed to my Renee Football's joke, which was so good, my intended target, Jerry, didn't see it for hours.
It took me like hours to see that you changed your Twitter handle to I like mirrors.
Yeah.
We're talking about
my joke
everything.
was absolutely nothing.
We're talking about absolutely everything but dimensions.
It wasn't really appropriate to do a proper April Fool's Day gag, though, given the whole pandemic thing.
Yeah.
And the people, by the way, that did that, there's a special place in hell reserved for people like that.
God almighty.
Yeah.
So, Dimensions in Time, huh?
Yeah, Dimensions in Time. So, this
It
was
has
not the first,
Ronnie in it.
This wasn't even the first choice for the Children in Need special, actually.
Oh.
Another script was written before this, which sounded amazing. It was called Destination. It was called Destination Holocaust.
Oh.
The Seventh Doctor and the Brigadier would be holed up in a burning church fighting off the Cybermen. David Rodden was the writer of this particular script. It was his first professional script. It's a damn shame this wasn't made, but John Nathan Turner?
Yeah,
John Nathan Turner vetoed it because of the rising budget.
I can see why.
Yeah, the budget was too high, and also there was some executive meddling from the BBC who wanted a certain element added to the special.
A certain element Brainiac had no idea about until we started watching.
Yeah, when we get to that, I'm going to have some words to say about that, because I didn't like that at all.
Wait, hang on. That was their only complaint, was that it was too expensive and they wanted something in it? They didn't have a problem with it being called something Holocaust with a burning church?
That probably would have been a working title, but...
I sure hope it was, because the last thing we want to think about with Holocaust is religious things being
that does sound amazing. So, of course, we didn't get
That's
that.
a little tone deaf.
It is a little tone deaf, yeah. Actually, 93, wasn't it the year Schindler's List came out?
It was.
Holy shit.
Oh, even better.
But what we actually got was a mess.
Well,
yeah.
The funniest part of this mess, actually, isn't even Dimensions in Time itself. It's that our particular upload...
Oh, it's the intro. It's the intro.
It's the intro with Noel's house party and John Berkeley.
So Noel Edmonds, who was a prolific TV host in the 1990s and 2000, they went on to do Deal or No Deal, the game show, our version of Deal or No Deal, which is a bit different to your version because they don't have the girls standing by the boxes, for one thing. But, he does a version of Noel's House Party for Children in Need in 1993. The doorbell rings, and in walks John Pertwee. Only he's not John Pertwee, he's the Doctor. He's actually in character as the Doctor. And it's kind of brilliant. They have this back and forth banter. At one point, Pertwee says, "I've just come from the year 2010. You're still on television." He says, "Oh, I'm doing some serious programs." "Oh, don't be ridiculous. I travel in time and space, not Fantasy Island."
This is funnier than anything that happens in Dimensions in Time.
Basically,
right?
yeah. You could just watch this little introduction, then switch off Dimensions in Time, and you wouldn't be missing anything.
But
also, since we're mentioning this, I think I know the element that you have the biggest problem with, because I also have a problem with that element.
Yes. So anyway, the episode starts...
But don't forget to put on your 3D glasses.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm quite impressed that the thing we were watching it on, it didn't hurt my eyes too much, because...
You can tell there's like red and blue and shit there in the opening shot with the vortex.
One's red and the other's blue. Fuck you.
It's in fucking 3D. That's the best shit I've ever heard of.
And like in 1993 3D, so like those old red and blue glasses.
Edmonds even makes a joke about how crap the glasses are. He even jokes about how crap these glasses are. And they are crap. But every member of the audience is handed a pair. They have to put them on, the poor sods.
Oh, God. At least we can say the sales of these glasses went to charity. Actual children in need. That's the best thing we can say. We're going to make fun of this stupid thing.
It was for charity, yes. It was for charity. It was for a good cause.
Didn't he say that the BBC was doing the entire week with 3D glasses?
I don't know that. I was 5 when this first came out, so I don't remember it at all.
Well, that's what he said in the second part, because this was broken up into 2 parts. Part 1 was with the doctor coming to meet him, and then the second part was the next night. The second night he said, "Thank you for coming to this Noel's house party that's happening during the BBC's 3D week," or something like that.
Oh dear Jesus, the whole week of this shit.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I really hope them kids got good medical coverage for this.
Oh God.
I really do.
Yeah. All right. I've stalled long enough. Let's go into it. So this is
officially a part of RaniWatch because the Ronnie's in it.
Yeah. That's a story in itself. So it opens up with the most disco intro of Doctor Who you've ever heard.
Disco? No, it's Eurobeat. It's the 90s.
That's disco, but yeah, all right. European dance, Eurobeat, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the thing gets its unsung.
We call it disco beat.
Yeah, it's compromise called disco beat, but the theme gets its unsung. Let's put it that way. And once the theme has faded out, we get our villain straight away.
Yep.
And because this is part of RaniWatch, it's the Rani, dumbass.
And
she's not alone.
The Ron,
she's not alone.
He's got some fucker with her, huh?
She's got a helper. She's got a helper. Now, this guy, I don't think he's named in the serial. Well, it's not really a serial. I don't think he's named in the program at all. But his official name is Syrian. And this is because
who the fuck cares about him?
Because he was originally supposed to be played by Sir Ian McKellen.
Oh my God!
We're not here
and that's
for
why
him.
he was called Syrian, because it's play on Sir Ian.
Why in the what?
No, I'm not making that up.
Nobody cares about him. We're here for her other 3 companions.
Yes. So the Rani, because she's a Time Lord scientist, has been collecting samples and putting them in the walls of her TARDIS. And by the way, this is the most low-budget
No, not them. We're not here for them.
This is the most low-budget TARDIS
you've ever seen. We're here for the big-ass floating heads of the doctors
yes!
that are revolving around the room.
You said 3, it threw me off. It's 2.
Okay, so here's
there were
the
3 heads there. There were totally 3 heads
William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton were dead by 1993. So they couldn't be in the special. So to get around this, they made busts of their heads and rotated them around in 3D along the screen.
Originally, it was supposed to be a picture of the 2 doctors that were absent. And it didn't work in the 3D.
So they made busts of their heads.
So they animated these terrible 3D heads of these 2 doctors. And they're just rotating. They're just revolving around the Rani as she's talking.
Dear
when you get a close up of the heads, they look like they're made of clay or something. So someone.
That's because they were. That's because they were.
It's so bad, but so funny.
Yeah, it is very funny.
Anyway, the Rani's plan, which really doesn't feel like it feels more like they wrote it for the Master, and then Anthony Ainley didn't want to do it, so they were like, "Hey, Kate, you want to do a thing for charity?"
That's exactly what happened.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
No, really, their first pick. That if you think why the Rani is acting like the Master in this episode, because the Rani was originally supposed to be the Master in this episode. But depending on who you ask, either Ainley turned it down, or according to Ainley himself, he wasn't asked. He would have done it if he'd been asked, but he says he wasn't asked, so take your pick on who you believe. So then he was out, so the second choice was Michael Gough to play the Celestial Toymaker again.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
But he turned it down. And finally, Kate O'Mara got 3rd pick, and she was happy to come back.
Now, the real question is, did they actually turn it down, or did their agents turn it down?
Well, whoever it was, they didn't turn up. They didn't agree to appear in the special.
Well, the end result of this is that the Rani scheme doesn't really have anything like amoral time scientist.
No. No, it's just the master.
I kidnapped a bunch of shit, and now I'm gonna fuck with the doctor because I hate him and want him to die.
Basically, the Ronnie's been losing her personality throughout the episodes we've been watching.
Yeah.
Culminating with
I think
this.
we can safely say that the Ronnie's episodes have sort of declined in quality as they went through.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would watch Time over Mark because Time is way more gonzo.
I think the Ronnie is the stronger character in Mark, but Time is the funnier episode.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. So anyway, then we cut to Tom Baker, who's I described as in a tornado rendered with the power of Toy Story.
Yeah,
it's
broadcasting to you tonight from the Grey Room.
It's just
broadcasting to you tonight from the PlayStation loading screen.
Yes, basically.
It's just Tom Baker in his season 18 outfit, looking old as shit.
Yeah,
and he's talking into a microphone. They literally just sat Tom Baker down on a stool with a microphone in front of a green screen and had him read this shit.
That's his only involvement. That's his only involvement in the entire episode.
I mean, he's good because it's Tom Baker.
He's the best thing about this, but he doesn't do anything apart from this.
She hates everyone.
Do you guys know the Just Cause series?
Yes.
I know of it.
I want to say it's Just Cause 3, where you're on an island, and every so often they'll blare out propaganda. Mm-hmm. The person doing the propaganda is a kidnapped celebrity who was on vacation to the island. They got taken, and now they're the ones doing all the propaganda. Okay. Would you like to know who that celebrity was?
Tom Baker?
Tom Baker?
No, it was David Tennant.
Close.
So David Tennant was playing himself in this video game, and all I was thinking about during this time was like, man, this feels a lot like Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I do love some of his lines.
Tom Baker does have involvement in the video game world, though. He did the trailers for Perfect Dark.
Oh, hey, Kat, you want to know what other video game he was involved in? He was the narrator in Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
All right, I'm done. I'm done. This is over. Bye.
Dimensions in time doesn't break you, but Echo
Hey, get back here. If we have to suffer through this, so do you.
Anyway, Tom Baker, great lines. We'll just shotgun through like the plot of this because it's really quick.
She's actually left. She's actually left. Get back here. You don't get to be in the retrospective.
No, all right, I'm back.
Okay. So then we cut to the Seventh Doctor and Ace. Wonderful. Outside the Cuddy Sark in 1973. They chat a bit. They wander around. And then there's a pixelated explosion. And Colin Baker is there.
The graphics on this are just awful.
Now, what's going on here is very ill-explained and contradictory in places. It seems like what's happening is the doctors and companions are all caught in a time loop and constantly shifting between each other, but it doesn't really add up. Like, the doctors, I guess, are always the same person, just changing back and forth. But the companions, sometimes it seems like it's the same companion changing, like Ace changing into Sarah Jane or whatever. And other times it seems like there's disparate companions all stuck there. Like at one point, there's only one companion, but then the Fifth Doctor has Nyssa and Perry with him. So
yeah, it's never really.
If you try to make sense of this, like logically, it's just an excuse to get everybody in on it. And just go whoosh. Okay, now you get some screen time. Whoosh. Now you get some screen time. Whoosh. For charity, for fun.
Hey, look. Confusing. It really doesn't make sense at all. It's got a convoluted story. So this is a Chibnall era episode.
Oh Jesus!
That's unfair on Chibnall.
Look, I'm still pissed.
I'll mood.
Can you believe the Thomas chat was only a month ago?
Christ.
It feels like 3 years have elapsed.
Well, that's less on Chibnall and more on the world getting utterly fucked.
It still feels like 3 years have elapsed.
I know.
No, give me time. I'll find a way to make this Chibnall's fault.
There's a reason all those memes of March 1st versus March the 31st came up on Twitter. And I've tried to avoid speaking about this part of the episode as much as possible. I keep calling it an episode, it's not, but it's the setting for the damn thing.
This I know kind of went over Cat and ours heads.
Yeah.
I'm sure in England it made people very hooked up, shall we say. Raniac, you didn't actually know about this. I swear I thought he did. I thought you knew about this.
No, I went in completely blind.
You completely blind. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Raniac, you can explain this one.
Yeah. Okay, so this was the executive meddling I was referring to earlier. The BBC decided they wanted Doctor Who to cross over with EastEnders.
This was the executive meddling?
This was the executive meddling. They wanted EastEnders in the Doctor Who episode.
I thought it was the 3D stuff. Oh my god.
Which technically means that EastEnders is canon within Doctor Who universe.
Which, this special is amazing in its own way. It is a crossover between Doctor Who and EastEnders, which manages to completely fuck up the canon of Doctor Who and EastEnders.
Yes, you've done your research on this, haven't you?
I made a peek at
basically both sets of fans of each show refuse to acknowledge this as canon because
I can't believe we have such solidarity here. It's like some EastEnders fan is just like, I haven't seen a frame of Doctor Who.
That picture of the two fists is on the screen right now as we speak.
Oh yes.
EastEnders fans, Doctor Who fans, pretend this shit never existed. And for those of you that don't know me that well, here's a little fact for you to chew on. Do you want to know my least favourite genre of all television?
Westerns.
Soap operas.
Agreed.
Oh.
Do you know what EastEnders is?
Western.
It's a goddamn soap opera set in London.
Oh.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh. I've
Since
never
the
watched
80s.
it, so...
Since the 1980s. It's awful. It's terrible. It's bad. I hate it. And it's in Doctor Who.
What's it even about?
Good question.
People living in the East End.
A bunch of people in the East End of London that hate each other's guts, basically.
Oh, what fun.
There are murders. There are betrayals. It's soap opera bullshit.
Oh, so it's just basic soap opera shit, but just set in East London.
But there's a character in this. I don't know who the character is. I'm not going to look it up. It's not worth it. But at one point, the Doctor and his companion at the time, who is it, Jerry?
I don't know what scene you're talking about.
The one in 2013.
Sarah Jane 3, I think.
So much.
Yeah, because the companion.
No, wait. It's John Pertwee and Mel. Yeah.
Yeah, John Pertwee and Mel. One of the characters who's in that scene dies in EastEnders in 2006. And that's why they don't accept this as canon.
Well, to be fair, they didn't know that character would die in 1993. And I do love... That scene is a bit of a meme. It's like Doctor Who people. Because it's just like John Pertwee. What year is this? 2013.
Yeah. Also, Mel's actress Bonnie Langford would go on to be in EastEnders 22 years later.
Oh my god!
And I didn't know this, so I was like, "Wait, is this whole thing because Bonnie Langford's on both EastEnders and Doctor Who?" No, she wasn't in EastEnders for another 22 years. But yeah.
Oh god!
And the revolving cast of companions and doctors continues. We've got you don't see McCoy again until like towards the end. So
yeah, no. I'm
sure that was a good paid shit that he picked up. Except he didn't because it was a charity. But
no, this was for charity. They didn't get paid.
He did apparently get drunk on the first night.
Getting drunk?
He turned up to the first night of filming with a hangover. So the other doctors basically rewrote the script to have him do all the technical bits. They're like, Sylvester can handle the technical jargon.
Oh, geez.
So the story goes, it may not be true. You basically got all the surviving companions at this point. You've got Susan's there with Colin Baker, which is amazing. She's like, you don't look anything like my grandfather.
I do love
Barbara.
Colin Baker face. Like, she picks up a bit of clothing, and he has some remark. What did I say? I gotta go back on our chat.
Yeah.
I said something about it. Oh, I made a hilarious thing.
Colin Baker's basically just sliced up all the other doctors.
He says that okay. I got it. He said that whatever Ace's like coat she picked clashes. Colin Baker says this.
Yes.
It's a goddamn coat.
It's still a nod and a wink to the audience, isn't it? So it's okay.
It has to be at this point. There can't be.
And it's all the funnier for it.
Anyway, speeding through to the end of part 1 here, the Ronnie decides to unleash her menagerie upon the Doctor, who's trapped in EastEnders' hell world here. And her menagerie basically consists of whatever old monster costumes the BBC had left over from Doctor Who that hadn't like dissolved into mothballs. So you've got a bunch of weird fucking shit. It's basically just whatever they had on hand. I mean, you've got like a Cyberman and an Ogre. Sure, there's no Daleks because like Terry Nation Estate was a motherfucker about the rights.
There was going to be a scene with Peter Davison and Daleks in it, and the scene had to be cut because Terry Nation withdrew his rights for it.
As Terry Nation is wont to do.
Yes, Terry Nation was kind of notorious for doing that kind of crap, but there you go.
Even after he's dead, his estate keeps that trope alive.
Yep, but less about that, the better. There's a Cyberman, as you say, there's an Ogron, there's the goddamn monster dog from Happiness Patrol.
Yeah.
There's a random Time Lord who just has a pistol.
Oh, yeah, Time Lord with a gun, yes.
There's an Argolian here.
Across all these monsters, and then there's just a dude with a gun.
There's an Argolian. There's a Vanir. Like there's a Sea Devil. Fuck! I had the list.
I'm going to pretend I know all those, including the Sea Devil, and just smile and nod because I don't know anything of those apart from the Sea Devil.
I remember they said there was a Vervoid somewhere in there.
I was
I caught the Vervoid. It's at the beginning of part 2. You can see one behind Kato Mara walking into the pub.
Oh my God.
Vervoid walking into the pub. I just imagine that costume.
That pub's the Queen Vic. That's like the most famous location in EastEnders. But
just a Vervoid walking into the Queen Vic.
That is great. That is. I didn't even see that, but that is a great thing. But the Ronnie comes out of the Queen Vic holding this massive gun.
Yep.
And that's the end of part 1. It's like, you're all going on a long journey. A very long journey. Roll credits.
And this is where something interesting revolving the charity comes in.
Oh, God.
There was a, charity donation or voting.
There was a telephone vote.
Who should save the Doctor in part 2? And it's not Doctor Who characters, it's EastEnders characters. Okay, it's either Mandy or Big Ron.
Big Ron was robbed.
Mandy won. Here's the thing that I know here. Mandy won. So at the beginning of part 2, there's the scene here where 3 and Liz Shaw. Liz Shaw goes to the Ronnie to try and stop her or whatever. The Ronnie holds her at gunpoint. Then this Mandy lady comes in and she's like, "Oh, what do you think you're doing? Get off her!" Right?
Yeah.
So
that scene is done so badly. I thought she was saying that to Liz Shaw about the Ronnie.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing, Raina, have you seen the Big Ron scene?
No, because you can't.
No. They actually filmed it. They just didn't use it.
They filmed it, but it's never been released. It has never been released.
You want to know what Big Ron does?
Please tell me he just punches into the ground or something stupid like that.
He says, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" and pulls the companion away, and then gets threatened at gunpoint. So exactly the same shit as Mandy does.
Different person in it.
Exactly the same shit as Mandy does. So all he did was just cut in whichever one won.
Yes, but you could have had somebody called Big Ron in the episode. You missed it. Audience, you ruined it.
Oh,
Question.
God.
Are either of these two characters from EastEnders?
Yes.
Both of them are.
They both are.
Okay, just making sure.
From what I researched, because I refused to watch EastEnders on general principle, Mandy was a teenage tearaway, and Big Ron was a Big Ron.
Big Ron was
What I know about soap operas, this seems like a pretty typical episode. Random characters come back from the dead. People are, useless. Pretty typical.
Yeah, this isn't Passions, it's Doctor Who.
Oh, I forgot about the other thing in part one that made me just howl. The CGI train.
CG. What?
Yeah, the backdrop of the bridge, when they're talking to two of the EastEnders characters, the Doctor and insert the companion here, there's a bridge behind them, and they're CGI-ing a train going across the bridge.
They what? Okay.
Live cat, they do that, don't they?
Live right now, I am going back
They
to
do,
the
don't they,
video.
Cat? Back me up.
Hang the fuck on here. So it's... Which part is it?
It's so bad!
It's part one. It's part one.
Wait, hang on. Is that it?
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking
Oh
about.
my
I was just
god!
going
Wait,
along
is
with
that
it.
it? No, wait, hang on.
Oops.
Oh my god!
Like I said, there's a CGI train.
Oh my god!
Also, that cheering you can hear is my phone coming out of mute mode for some strange reason.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
It's terrible. It really is terrible.
That's quite terrible.
As for some of the outfits, I mean, you've got Sarah Jane cosplaying as the long lost Mario brother. You've got. Apparently, she was in that in the show though, so I can't really blame Dimensions in Time for this.
Yeah, I think I've seen an outfit like
People
that.
refer to it as her Andy Pandy look. They do try to generally make the companions look like either how they did before or approximation of what they looked like before. But the so-called Andy Pandy look is a standout for me.
It is.
So what you're telling me is that this is a triple crossover with EastEnders, Doctor Who, and Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh god. Okay, so should we speed really through this? Because part 2 was kind of
this is all basically just a bunch of companion cameos and the Ronnie looking evil, and that's basically it.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
Corporal Mike Yates from the unit years of the 70s, Pertwee era, shows up, and then the Doctor meets the Brigadier, and the third Doctor becomes the sixth Doctor again, and this is actually like the only time the sixth Doctor and the Brigadier were ever on screen together.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. And then they get the ending, which is strange. Okay, so earlier in the episode, Romana shows up. The second Romana, Lala Ward. My favorite Romana.
Yeah, that Ramona's great.
Respect to Mary Tam, but my favorite Romana. She shows up in some EastEnders character's garage, and they have a little exchange where she says she's looking for the Doctor, and they mention some Doctor up in the square who I suppose is the Doctor on EastEnders. And she's like, Doctor Who? Then she walks by the Queen Vic, and the Ronnie tugs her in, and
Yes.
some guy, I don't know, some EastEnders guy, just looks to the camera. He's just like, I've seen people get thrown out of the Vic, but never get dragged in.
That's Frank Butcher.
I don't know. Well,
people of a certain age will know who Frank Butcher is if they haven't even watched an episode of EastEnders. Also, the two guys that Romana talked to are the Mitchell brothers, who are like the resident villains,
oh.
or
Okay.
I suppose anti-heroes, because actually one is
Anyway,
quite popular. But
the point
yeah.
is, Romana gets kidnapped by the Ronnie. Now, then, the seventh Doctor, who's back for the ending, finds things, and Victoria Waterfield, a second Doctor companion, has a cameo where all she basically says is, "Who was that terrible woman?" Which, well use of Deborah Watling there. Great use.
Yeah, great use of that particular
But
actress.
then they find the Ronnie's TARDIS, I guess, which is here for some reason. I thought it was in space, but okay. I mean, I'm asking sense of this.
I don't think the writers cared at this point.
No, they really didn't, because here's this convoluted nonsense. It's like Leela comes out, and she's like, "The Ronnie cloned me," but then it's revealed that when the Ronnie cloned Leela because the Ronnie wanted her collection or whatever, but due to all this time fuckery, she was Romana at the time, so now there's a time lady brain in her collection. So the doctor
still doesn't make sense, because why would the companion be changing but is still separate people? And my head.
Yeah.
And then basically the doctor does some techno bullshit. K9's also there for reasons because it's crossover canon. Fan service. You gotta have K9.
You can basically sum up the cameos as X person was also there.
X person was also there. The doctor does some timey-wimey nonsense
Knuckles.
with a bunch of stuff, and. And the Ronnie gets sucked into her time vortex, and the floating disembodied heads of Patrick Troughton and William Hartnell are free to haunt the nightmares of England's children once more.
Yes. So the companions are all free now.
Everyone's free. The Doctor and Ace waltz off in their TARDIS, and that's Dimensions time.
So the Ronnie's never
They're
seen
all
again until
free to
Big
be
Finish.
absolutely irrelevant for several years until finally the 7th Doctor has to go away to make way for the 8th Doctor, who we don't talk about.
So this is the 30th anniversary, and that's the best they could do for the 30th anniversary of this show. I despair. I just...
Look how good we got it now, huh?
Well, I mean, they managed to do one thing right accidentally.
What's that?
The Ronnie's TARDIS, I'm sure it's just some bullshit sculpture that they picked out of random just to, make fade away or whatever. But if you kind of squint at it, it almost looks like a combination of her two previous TARDISes.
Oh, yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
I forget the name of the monument in London, but it's not some random bullshit, I can assure you.
Some random bullshit. No.
But yeah, this is charity fluff. It's simultaneously hard to get too mad at it, but also you watch it and you just go, "Well, what the hell was that?"
No, Jerry, it's very easy to get mad at it because it's EastEnders.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's very easy to get at it because it's shit, and they made this shit for charity and the 30th anniversary, and that's just sad.
At least nobody took a fee for this. They were probably too embarrassed.
God almighty.
I am not putting this on my resume.
No.
This is... Yeah.
This is just a whole CV.
This is basically the Doctor Who fan equivalent of Star Wars special. Like, it's a thing that aired once, never again, that... Well, I don't know. It didn't air again because of license issues, rather than George Lucas going, "This needs to be buried in the ground for all time.
Yeah.
If I had a hammer, I would smash every copy."
Actually, it's worse than the holiday special, because the holiday special actually cut down on the cameos.
That's true.
Okay, have either of you seen the holiday special?
Yes.
What?
Yes, and exactly how many times do the actual Star Wars characters that we know and love show up in the whole thing?
I mean, the whole
like
thing's a bit of a
5
blur, but very, very rarely.
I can't. Oh, Jesus! I thought I was the only one who actually threw that.
No, well,
shit.
I said I've seen it. I've seen bits.
No.
I've sat through the whole goddamn thing.
I refuse.
No, not
I
bits.
refuse.
Not bits. Whole goddamn thing.
I've seen the bit where
It was the best day of my life, where it turns out they did not actually record all of Leia singing, so I got out early.
Oh.
But otherwise, I saw the whole thing.
Listen. So I am going to say this without irony, without like shade, without like being funny. The Star Wars Holiday Special is one of the worst pieces of media I've seen.
Until this came along.
Oh no! This is breezy. This is over in 17 minutes. I can deal with
Which was
Star Wars
17 minutes
Holiday
too,
Special. You know how you
Too
said
long.
that March felt like 3 years long? Star Wars Holiday Special is 2 hours long, and it feels like 3 years long.
See, you say that, but I've seen something worse.
Hang on, wait. The Star Wars Holiday Special is 2 hours long.
2 hours long with commercials.
I thought it was like a short bit.
No,
It's
2
like
hours
super
long.
long.
Okay, that's far worse. Fair enough. I thought they were similar time frames.
But I still say I have seen worse than the Star Wars Holiday Special. So for me, it's Dimensions in Time, Star Wars Holiday Special, and then the Silent Hill movie sequel.
Oh God!
Oh boy! That
Uwe
sounds
Boll,
like
why?
fun. Wait, Uwe Boll did that?
If it's a video game adaptation in the 90s and 2000s, he probably did it. Yes.
I don't think he did Silent Hill.
No, Silent Hill was after Uwe Boll's time.
Oh, was it?
He did Alone in the
Yes.
Dark. That's the only horror franchise I think Uwe Boll got his hand on.
It might as well have been Uwe Boll, though, because it's terrible.
Let's put it this way. I love the Silent Hill series. I actually kind of liked the first movie just because as long as I disconnected it from Silent Hill, the actual series, it was fine. Silent Hill Revelation 3 fucking D is an abomination that needs to be burned.
Oh, there we go.
We're
We're
back
back
to
to
3D
3D again. We came around.
There is
Yeah.
there is one silver lining for me for Dimensions in Time, and it's something that I wish that the show would do again. As the idea of mixing and matching doctors and companions, not the whole transformation thing. That's dull. That's daft as hell. But having Susan with 6 and Mel with 3, and things like that.
Raniac, I think you would like the 5 Doctors.
Is that a similar thing?
Yeah, it does a little of that. You have
There is a Civil Watch of that happening on April the 25th.
Well, pop that bad boy on.
# Game of Wrestle On.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, that's not Emily Cook's lot. That's TARDIS Monkey again. But there have been Civil Watches popping up everywhere now. Sacha Dhawan did one for Spyfall.
Yeah,
This
I
past
was
week.
part of a couple. I've been part of a couple. This Friday, as we're recording, the 11th April, they're doing Doctor's Wife. Neil Gaiman tweeting.
Yes, they are. Saturday.
And that's going to be great. That's one of my... That was... I don't know if it still is. I've had to...
That
is one of my favorite episodes of the show.
That's the next official one with probably some bonus features. Because for Rose, they had not a prequel. Was it a prequel?
They had the sequel.
They had the sequel, but what was the thing that he released before the episode?
He wrote the Regeneration, Time War Regeneration.
Oh yeah.
Began
So it was a
into
prequel.
Eccleston.
It was a prequel, yes.
Yeah.
It was a scene that was never made.
Yeah, he wrote that before he ever knew about John.
And then the sequel, where he implied that Boris Johnson was an autumn.
I still think that the best little piece of release media was the Strax thing from Day of the Doctor.
That was amazing, but the thing they did for the 11th hour, the Raggedy Doctor, came close.
Oh, okay. That
was adorable.
That hit the feels.
Amy says she's got 27 friends and Rory.
Beautiful. I love your reaction to that. Oh, Still's perfect. Who drew this? Sophie Isles?
Yeah. I should have known as soon as I saw her art style. I should have known. But I didn't. But
So,
yeah,
we're
5
just
Doctors says I'm
chatting
enjoy
now
it.
at this point. Should we call it here?
Oh please can we call it end my pain, end the misery.
So this is the end of RaniWatch, unless nobody wants to hear Rani. This is the end of RaniWatch.
Well, there's no more televised media with the Rani in it, so this is the end of RaniWatch.
This is the end of RaniWatch. So let's see. What can we do?
It would be if there wasn't for this secret special that Frez and I kept hitting from you, Rainiac.
Oh, what's that?
No, I'm kidding.
I thought
So
you were going to
what's
say the
next?
Twin
Let's
Dilemma
see.
just to continue the bit. But
let's see. What else could we do? We could do RaniWatch. We could do Season 7 watch. We could do Santaran watch. We could do
Underwater Menace watch.
Underwater Menace watch. We could do the Twin.
you can't do Underwater Menace watch because part of that doesn't exist.
We can do a half watch.
A half watch?
Also, you can watch. Also, you can technically watch the pictures and watch the scrolling text.
I do love how you're making all these pictures, not realizing I'm the one that does the podcast.
Yeah, man, it really is a dilemma.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost two dilemmas going on here at the same time.
One could almost say the dilemmas are a mirror image of each other too.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
See, and that's the entire reason why you should absolutely love Twin Dilemma, Fred. It's literally a mirror image of itself.
So well, Kat, you realize what that means. If it's a mirror image of itself, it's twice as shit.
Well, I didn't say it was a good mirror image of itself.
So, thank you for watching us through all of RaniWatch, through the good and the bad. In this case, the bad. And we don't know when we'll be back exactly next, but we'll either do another classic serial or we'll get on the retrospective early. We'll do something to try and pass the time. And
hell yeah!
Basically, just a huge thank you to both Jerry and Kat for doing this yet again and being there for me yet again. And wherever you are, wherever you might be listening to this, please, for the love of God, stay safe, stay in your home as much as you possibly can, and just take care of yourself.
That doesn't mean that you're allowed to go out willy-nilly, by the way. When we say stay in your houses as much as you possibly can, we mean stay in your fucking houses, people.
Yes.
Once a week for food. That's it.
Take the advice of that doll that was found in that English version. Self-isolate. Self-isolate.
You're killing Grandma.
You're killing Grandma. And on that cheery note, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
At least with David Cameron, the only thing we had to worry about was swine flu.
That is a quality joke.
Oh god!
You're welcome.
Were you rolling? Were you rolling right now?
Oh yes, it's recording.
Oh, that's going in.
That's the end. That's the end bit.
That's the end bit. Hi. Thanks for sticking around to the end, everybody.
Try the veal.